season, and we are underway on EA Sports.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25.
Let's go, defense. Let's get off the field, defense.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now Darnold. He'll get this one complete. That's A.J. Brown. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Here we go, son.
A first down throw, Darnold. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Darnold now to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A.J. Brown. His first touchdown on the year. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive.
I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
It's up and through to make it 7-0 Browns.
Makes the score Browns 7, Jets nothing.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
This taken in about 4 yards deep. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
At their own 17-yard line.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
58 to Mike. 58 to Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run. Check safety. Check safety.
Now Rodgers. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. A gain of 6 there on first.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Watch QB's up. Watch QB's up. Hey, 58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers.
And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Mostert. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield.
And he is going to have a Jets first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2.
At the 44-yard line.
A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44.
Watch safety green. Watch safety green.
Now Mostert. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
A pitch out to Mostert.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning to tear you up. Don't get nervous.
57's Mike. Mike 57.
On play action. Now Rodgers. Flushed out right.
He'll air this one out for Mims.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. This is Mostert. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 36. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But if the strong safety position end up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Scan 300! Scan 300!
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
They don't want it. Keep playing hard, fellas. All day. Woo! Let's get it.
This would have been a 54-yard boot had they tried a field goal, but they will not try a field goal. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. He's got this one completed to Mims. Adam Gase rolls the dice. It doesn't pan out. And this Browns defense stands tall. The Browns drive about to get started. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Here's Darnold. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Could be four-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. To throw is Darnold, and that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down. Now it's Darnold. His throw incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. But prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing again is Darnold. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down.
On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. They had quite a hole to dig out of there on 3rd and long. Not able to get the first, but a pretty good-sized run.
A really good run, but how much confidence do you have in your next play call that you can sell to the head coach? Let's go get it on 4th down. Do you really have a play you believe in, or are you just hopeful? And you got to sell it to the big man before it gets called.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint. Down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
All day, defense, all day, all day.
Check 37.
Check north.
Kill.
Now Rodgers. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
You go tight.
Now a play fake. Rodgers
He's checking crowd.
looking for Perriman, and it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Hey, check. Hey, lady. Check right 21. Get him. Hey, check right 21.
Back to throw, Darnold. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's an 8-yard pickup, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
Oh, I came to my feet on that one. I thought he was getting close to breaking that one big, but in the end, give some credit to the defense, finding a way to get to him and forcing a 3rd down.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Here's Darnold. And the Jets defense making things difficult there. 4th down. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They find themselves down 13-0 here as they try to get things started offensively. 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
58 to Mike, 58.
To throw again. Rodgers. That's caught by his running back, Raheem Mostert. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
We need cheese.
I'm ready to take over, baby. Sting, don't it?
We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Deep ball for Goodwin. This is intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Ward. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Come on, guys, pick it up.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Darnold. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. A run for Nick Chubb. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half.
We're going to sack. Check back 21. You don't want none, baby. You don't want none. Hey, you don't want to see me. You don't want it. Shoot. Hey, lady. We go, young lady. Hey, check Mike 21. Mike 21. Check Mike 21. Watch the slant. Hey, check Mike 21. Mike 21. Check Mike 21.
Darnold on first down. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back gains of 17, and they are really on the march now. It's a first down.
We're going to sack. What's tight? Lady. What's tight? Tight is right. Hey, we got 3 down, 3 down. Kill. 90 is a mic. Pick it up, guys. Pick it up.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Darnold. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. And he just clocked it. But the clock wasn't even moving. Well, that's one you don't see very often, a wasted down. So now here comes the field goal team for the third time today. This a 43-yard attempt. Carlson able to put this one through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Jets take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play.
And he's into the clear. Past the 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. So we come upon halftime with 9 points separating these two teams. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Rodgers going to throw. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Running the counter with Mostert. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. On play action, Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a third time. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in, coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. On the ground, it's Chubb. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A gain of 13, it's a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the carry, it's Chubb. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Darnold. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Third and long, it's Darnold. He's going to air one out. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And now with the play clock winding down, Adam Gase says, let's take a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
We need team. Jumbo! Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Check nickel, nickel, nickel. Watch the ship, watch the ship. Hey, hey, watch the ship, watch the ship.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. This is caught inside the 15. And finally out of bounds, just a few yards short of the goal line at the 3. Big yardage that time for the Jets. And even 40 yards.
Still all sorts of time left in this game, and you'd like to be able to say take it one play at a time. But the truth is, they're probably going to have to hit on a few big plays in the passing game to close this gap, and that's a good start right there.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal.
Go, Mate! Go, Mate! 36, 36.
They'll run with Mostert. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Raheem Mostert, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the interception by the Jets D leads to a touchdown. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
And this carries into the end zone, and he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Darnold down to throw. That one complete. He finds Shark. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And now we've got flags down. Looked like one of the Browns might have moved.
Come on, baby, let's go. Get excited. Let's go, let's go.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Off of play action, Darnold. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Zadarius Smith able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Darnold just beating the play clock. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Intended for A.J. Brown. Incomplete. It's third down.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Darnold from the gun. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Quinnen Williams able to put an end to that play, and in so doing puts an end to this third quarter. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Here's Jamie Gillen now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. This is away, and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 26-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And 12 at the 24-yard line.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Back north.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers on the run. He'll let this go. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one good for 37 yards.
Well, this is where an offense needs to show what it's made of. And, in fact, where a quarterback needs to show what he's made of. Trying to engineer a fourth quarter comeback, and he hits a big one right there.
Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go.
On play action, it's Rodgers. Sliding out of the pocket. He's got this one complete to Perriman. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Rashad Perriman, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets have taken the lead. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And normally when you see guys moving this fast, it might be a fly pattern from a receiver or a toss sweep from a tailback or something like that. This was designed as a passing play, and then he got out of the pocket, and he just took off. And he just kept gaining momentum with every step.
And the numbers here don't lie. According to the next-gen stats, he topped out at an even 22 miles an hour. The Browns drive about to get started. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here.
On first down, it's Darnold. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On first down, Darnold. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 38, Darnold. That's complete to Peoples-Jones.
Gets by him, and now a little daylight. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Give him 30 yards there.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them a lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. Here's Darnold. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Quentin Williams in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. It's second and goal, but now all the way back at the 14. Another try after the first down sack. Darnold to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. The safety Marcus May in there on the coverage.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
For the lead, here's third and goal.
The shotgun snap for Darnold. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A.J. Brown with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And once again, the Browns are back in front. Boy, what a job there. 4th down that far away from the end zone just to get it in, get that done.
An unlikely result, but it occurred nonetheless. What a terrific play. Great way to finish and in the end zone.
And the defense has to be scratching their heads, right?
That's usually to their advantage. In that situation, they should be able to make a play on the ball, but instead it turned out to be a touchdown, and they've got to go figure it out on their sideline.
They get this out left, and he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And how he got away from that first tackler, no idea, but he did, and it winds up with positive yardage.
2nd and 7.
Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th.
3 down. Hey, check. 3 down. Check 4.
So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw, Rodgers. Eluding the pressure, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. On play action, now Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
One score down, here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. So that'll back them up 5. And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on fourth down. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Credit that breakup to Greedy Williams. So that one hurt. No timeouts left. Look at where the ball is on the field, Charles. I don't know if the fat lady's singing yet, but she's starting to hum a little bit, isn't she?
You think she's doing scales at this point? I don't think there's any doubt about it, but they had to go for it. In this situation, with their timeout situation as well, they had to take the chance, try and get it done. They didn't. Now they're powerless to stop them, essentially.
They need a big play somehow from their defense. It's first and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. They'll run with Chubb. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal.
Two times. Alert. 3 down. 90 isn't mine.
Ain't no such thing as enough. We taking wins.
They'll try again with Chubb. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. And give him 2 yards officially, and now it'll be third and goal. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And I tell you, this was a fun one. Just a close game. Nothing comes easy in this league, as you know. They had to work for that victory.
I've got to go back to what you just said. Nothing comes easy in this league. How many times have we talked to coaches prior to a game and assessed You know, the strengths, the weaknesses, the whole deal. Even in games when one coach was a decided favorite, what do they always say to us? But you do know, this is really a 7-point league. 7 points either way usually decides a ball game. We had exactly that in this one.
And not only that, but this is a gutsy road victory, one they can hang their hat on.
So for the Browns, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss.